The Walking Dead, Dead City's newest villain group looks set to be a major threat in Season 2, and they could even be The Walking Dead's surprising CRM replacement. With Maggie and Negan's spin-off show returning to screens after almost 2 years, a variety of new antagonists have been established, with one being given an unexpectedly big role. Dead City Season 1's ending confirmed that Dahmer's faction was the most menacing in the entire show, suggesting they'd be Season 2's main villains. However, Power Equals Power introduced a group just as intimidating, who will be a big problem going forward. Although their influence remains limited to the spin-off series, the new community seems to have a well-run operation that is somewhat reminiscent of the Civic Republic military. Both groups have completely different goals and methods, but with The Walking Dead needing a CRM replacement, Dead City's latest villains seem like they could be the perfect fit. Season 2 still has a long way to go and will determine just how fit this new outfit is to take over the CRM's role as the franchise's main antagonist, but the new Babylon Federation has made a strong impression so far. I thought The Walking Dead's new main villain group was the Dahmer's community, but it's the new Babylon Federation. New Babylon seems to be the central antagonists for Dead City Season 2. With the Dahmer and the Croat pulling the strings in Dead City Season 1, it appeared as though they would once again be the central villains heading into Season 2, but that hasn't been the case. The Dahmer remained a menace in Season 2's premiere, as she successfully blackmailed Negan into joining her cause, who was seemingly able to bring all of Manhattan's deadliest factions together. Despite the lingering animosity between these groups, they appear to put their differences aside and will now work as one to fend off the impending threat posed by New Babylon. While this makes the Dahmer's community a concern, New Babylon looks even more terrifying and seems to be Dead City Season 2's true villain. Although they were operating in the background of Season 1 and got a more formal introduction in the finale, Season 2 proves how ruthless the faction really is. They managed to cut off the Brick's trading partners and force them to join the Federation, which is only the tip of the iceberg. In Power Equals Power, the group publicly executed a man for fleeing after he was forced to join their mission against his will. New Babylon even made Maggie and Ginny fight 20 walkers to prove they were worth taking a risk on, showing the group's leaders are just as twisted as the Dahmer. They may portray themselves as a community all about upholding the law, but it's clear their policies abuse people's rights and demand them to fall in line. Given they managed to take over the Bricks without much of a fight, there is no denying New Babylon is a strong, efficient group, and their unexpected role as the main antagonists makes them a great addition to Dead City Season 2's cast. The New Babylon Federation is just as evil as Dead City's other villain groups. While Manhattan is home to some sinister factions, the New Babylon Federation has proven to be just as ruthless. A character with blood on his face being held by 2 members of New Babylon in The Walking Dead, Dead City Season 2. Dead City has no shortage of hostile groups capable of sinister acts, but the New Babylon Federation is just as bad as any other faction in the spin-off. The Barazi have had more time to build up their reputation, and having killed Esther and kidnapped Hushel in Season 1, it's no surprise some people may feel they're the evilest in the show. Likewise, Season 2 has introduced several other communities that have been described as barbarians by New Babylon, but the supposed upholders of the law aren't exactly angels themselves, as they have already proven, although they did shoot the final walker during Maggie and Ginny's fight, making 2 people, one of whom was a teenager, fight so many undead in a confined space highlights that New Babylon's leaders aren't good people. Forcing conscription upon people only confirms that they don't care about building a peaceful civilization or bringing back hope as they claim, especially when the punishment for desertion is public execution. Instead, they are happy to use fear and intimidation to coerce people into obeying their laws and furthering their goals, just like other villains. The return of evil Negan in The Walking Dead saw him use a similar tactic of pressuring Manhattan's communities into joining the Dahmer's plan by flexing the Baraz's numbers and advanced weapons, ensuring these factions fall in line. Therefore, the fact that New Babylon is mirroring one of the franchise's deadliest antagonists in terms of their approach proves that they are just as bad as Dead City's other villains and could become the show's biggest threat going forward. No group in The Walking Dead, Dead City comes close to the CRM's power. Despite Dead City having some fun villain groups, none of them would be a challenge to the CRM. Military formation of the CRM soldiers in The Walking Dead, the ones who live Season 1 EP 6. Many of Dead City's factions appear to be fairly organized and powerful groups, but none come close to matching the strength of the CRM. Having been teased in the original series, the true scale of the CRM was finally revealed in World Beyond and elaborated on in The Ones Who Live, confirming they are one of the scariest groups in The Walking Dead. The Civic Republic is easily the largest community ever seen in the franchise, making the Commonwealth look tiny in comparison, and their army has access to advanced technology that puts the Dahmer's ethanol to shame. They have dangerous weapons like chlorine gas and use helicopters to travel, putting them in a league of their own in terms of resources. The CRM also captured Rick in The Walking Dead and kept him within their community for years, proving that even the most experienced of survivors struggled to deal with them. In the end, Rick and Mikan did manage to take down the group practically on their own, but they needed a lot of insider information to make it happen, and the Civic Republic military still has a huge number of soldiers despite no longer being evil. Therefore, Dead City's factions would have little chance of posing the CRM any real problems, and even if all the spin-offs villain groups joined together, the CRM would still be heavy favorites to take them down with ease. Their defeat may have been a little underwhelming in The Ones Who Live, but there's no denying the CRM were the most dangerous antagonists in The Walking Dead, and even if New Babylon replace them, they will never be able to match their power.